Welcome, this is the part 2 video. Not sure what I'm going to call it yet. So the pattern I see in everything, there is an internal and an external. So where you would have a phoenix event externally, there is one to be found inside yourself as well. Kundalini rising, Christ consciousness, call it whatever you want. It's the same thing being described. So what would the equivalent of the AIX, Artificial Intelligence Unknown, be? Well, certainly, like with the collecting the boxes, the internal that went on in the unseen, the internal conversation of, oh, I don't really want to get these boxes, and then higher self saying, no, take them because they are going to become useful, which certainly has proved to be the case. Where do we want to go with this? So the A, we could say, is the alpha, the I, referencing the mind's eye, and the X. X marks the spot. It's where the buried treasure is always found on the pirate's map, the Long John Silver. So this is thank you to Deborah for a comment that's inspired that, because I thought Treasure Island, tree, shore is land. When you have that internal feeling, you discover, you have this realization, that is the land that you're seeking, the tree of life. It's inside you, it will provide for you. Hence the boxes, visioning something, and then that is part of the process that came along. The timing comes into this. The wish was fulfilled with my sister coming here and thus providing the transport to get the boxes here, and the timing of going to Montchique on that day when those boxes happened to be just lying there in the street. So what I would suggest is, when the I realizes that the body is the X, if you think of the human body like a star shape with your arms and legs forming an X, what is missing would be the head. What Rudolf Steiner calls the most unhuman part of the human being is the head. Noting that the skin is on top of the bone, whereas the rest of the body, the skeletal structure, is encased with flesh and all sorts of sinews and tissues, and then covered in the skin. But on the face and on the head, it is mostly just skin over bone. So the X, that is your cross. Your body, what you carry, any belief system, be it religion, science, whatever it is, that is your cross. But the I is the realization that that is the cross, but also seeing on the other shoulder is the A, the alpha, where it all begins, which is inside oneself. It's the world within a world. It's your individual world within a painting, a backdrop, a green screen that can't be framed by the art spirit. But then the art spirit will channel through the artist. And there is an art in everything, so anybody can be an artist, not just in the accepted senses. What comes from switching off from a lot of that external world, it creates a void which is filled from within, because the answers will just come, they will start to unfold. There is a complete lessening of stress. As I speak, I am actually collapsing time, Because it might seem a strange thing to do on a hot day to have porridge, oats and coffee, interspersed between the coffee with equal amount of water, because water will dilute, so it needs a structure on which to work upon. So what I'm actually doing, although I'm not having fear of food with a barcode, I'm speeding up the process because it's coming out in sweat. So anything that the body has absorbed and wants to eject as soon as possible, it is aiding the process of expelling it from the body. It's not about looking into every type of food, because the saying is, whatever you look into, you wouldn't eat. So what are we supposed to eat? This body requires some kind of fuel, so it's finding the balance, being aware of the external world, but at the same time, as a co-creator, what can we paint on to the back screen that is presented to us? How can we change things? And life is pretty good at the moment. It's peaceful. It's not overt displays of absolutes on cloud nine all the time, but it's that nice, contented, almost stress-free, calm existence. That's what I have achieved so far, and I recommend it to anybody. You can be the tyrant and you can order your body about and put yourself through sort of torture trying to do things when it's really hot. Or you can be benevolent and you can be kind to the body and you can rearrange your time. It's how you spend your time after all. So there is no rush. It's a nice peaceful flow. I'm just still almost in shock that I managed to get the goal of finishing that fencing off for as far as I've got so far with the creating the sort of formers for the flower bed. It's basically using the square foot method of gardening as a basis. So there's no digging, no back-breaking work. It's doing what nature does and you just layer on top. Make it easy for yourself. And likewise, by extension of that, consider that your body is your servant and treat it in a way that you're not a tyrant to that body. Rather that you are the benevolent ruler of that body. You are therefore the master of your world. You are the God of your world, which is inside you. What role and what type of God you wish to be with inside that universe, of course, is down to you. But this nice, gentle flow method, I would thoroughly recommend. It doesn't mean the day drags, quite the opposite. It's like, where did the day go? It doesn't seem to be much happening sometimes, but clearly there is, because I'm creating things and it's just at a beautiful pace. So I thought I'd just share this as a testimony. So consider everything external of you, but then weigh it up and look for the internal of it. So if you see something in negative on the outside, it's a reflection with a reverse polarity, and therefore there must be a positive version of that within inside yourself. All this, over the next 15 years, is for you to find that internal phoenix. So when you're faced with the next Phoenix event in 2040, that it's going to be something magical, not something that's utterly destructive and terrible. And it will build upon this current feeling that I've created for myself here. What could be better than that? Unconditional love to you all.